Okay, we are back with Planet Zoo. It's been a hot minute. Oh, where are we? We are on Streamland Park because it is Friday. I believe it's Friday. It should be Friday. Dive in. I was going to start a little bit earlier, and then I was hungry, and then I lost track of the time. So, we have a new wind chime, so you're probably going to hear that a lot, because it's kind of loud. Oh my goodness, what is happening outside? The wind just kicked up out of nowhere. I'm hearing stuff banging around on the front porch. Every time we go to load in this zoo, I'm like holding my breath. I'm like, is it gonna load? Okay, so we've got this little section that we put in here last time. We're working on our butterfly garden. We got the main entrance building in place. And we are working on doing some landscaping around the edge here. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and pick back up with that. We're on the back side here. So I hope everybody's having a good day. Well, as good of one as you can have at least. I started working on a new painting, started drawing it out, and got halfway done it, and I was like, fuck, I was gonna record this. I was like, alright, well, I'll record painting it. That's good. Excuse me. Got the background underpainting done. And I was like, fuck, I was gonna record this. I was like, okay, well maybe I can start after the underpainting's complete. Like, that should be fine, right? And then I forgot to record that too. So I'm like, oh, I'm just batting 1,000 with this. How do I want to do this section? How do I want to do this section? That is a good question. And I'm not sure. I know. Alright, I kind of feel like at this point maybe we would be about there-ish. perhaps. Okay, so then this guy. If we kind of settle you into here. So we would have to, well, I guess we're bumped off enough there. Alright, so this guy. If we kind of put you in there. How did we do this side? Okay, we kind of followed the pathway there a bit. Alright, so here's the question. Kind of want a bench right there, I think. So let's go ahead and we'll grab that guy. I know the pathway isn't quite lined up with the benches, but it's probably just something that we're gonna have to just kind of cope with here. Clicking in the background is going to be husband. Playing something he got us to try. I haven't tried it yet. Haven't really had time to yet. Since I've kind of been a bit busy. Between video editing and trying to do a new painting here. So I also need to figure out where I'm going to put the gate on this side. Because we need a little gatey guy. That didn't go as planned. I meant to grab the other duplication thingy. Is this the only piece that I just duplicated? Because it's being kind of weird about it. So if I split that, so this guy, take you to there. Is that even, it's kind of doable. Okay, so we got that in there. Let's see if we can get this guy kind of lined up here. So I guess that would be maybe about there. Alright, so now That's not what I want. Alright. This guy. This one. Let's just remove that one entirely. You just want to be right difficult. You do. Well, how about if we just kind of do something like that around the corner there. Alright, that kind of hides that problem. Kind of, sort of. Alright. Okay. So I'm gonna fill in there. Need something there. Maybe we stick this guy there. Doesn't really fit all that well. This guy's not too bad. Alright. How did we do the other section here? Okay, so we had like a rainwater catch thingy. We did some of these guys. And we did some of that in the background. How about we do you there? There. these guys. Let's change our flower petals to pink. These guys, how about we go with some yellow. Orange. These guys. Go like some purple. And then these ones. That's not so bad. I got some colors happening in there.
Is that the donut house?
I don't know. Okay, so we got that. Alright, so put this guy there. I really wish we could paint the grass, because it just looks so bad. It looks half dead. Which seriously irks me. Alright, so alright, we had these fluffy guys underneath on that one. Is that the best we can do on that? There's no like super large on that. Kind of wanted to go with the flowers again, but I also don't want to overdo it. But coming back in here made me realize how terribly off-center we were. Like it doesn't need to be perfectly centered, but that was very much nowhere near. Nowhere near. Certainly hope I grab duplicate. I did not. Because why would I do that? I was like, oh, this one doesn't look too bad, and I like spun around and I'm like, oh no. Yeah, that's not centered either. Alright. Duplicate. Thank you. This one's very much not centered either. Oh, goodness. Definitely feels weird being back in Planet Zoo, I will say. Oh gosh, I don't even remember what we were working on in Oceania. Oh shit. Like, I know the section that we were working on, but I can't remember what we left off in the middle of. That might be fascinating when we get back into there tomorrow. For how that's gonna go. Okay, so we got that stuff there. All right, now grab this guy here. Okay, decided I want all of that. Alright, well, if we want all of that to come with us, we're gonna have to do it like that. Alright, so now this piece. Kofi bot is here. Welcome to the bot of Kofi. Oh, there it goes. Oh, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. And hope you are having a lovely day. Let's see here. I think that's relatively straight. Yeah. Well, as straight as I'm gonna get it. Without a huge amount of fussing. Okay. So we've got that in there. Alright, we still have to do our shrubbery here. Did we do any lighting? Alright, I'm gonna take it down. Okay, we had lights up here. I had some lights in the statuary. Okay. So we had lights up there. I don't think we actually... Did we not ground light anything? It doesn't look like it. Okay. In that case... Just don't want anybody tripping and falling. That would not be ideal. Not that they will, because, you know, computer. They aren't real people, but... Oh my goodness, that wind is kicking out there. I did not think it was supposed to be this windy today. All of our wind chimes are getting banged around there pretty good. No, I need... Really? Okay. Alright, you're just gonna be off center because that's how you're gonna roll apparently. And now when I tried to click you, I can't grab you again, so that's fun. I'm sure if I really fought with it long enough, I could, but I don't feel like fighting with it, so it's just gonna stay there. That's fine. It's all good. side doesn't need as much lighting as the other. Okay. Let's take our friend outside here. One there. One there. Alright, so now yeah, we don't need a whole lot of lighting in there. Or at least I don't feel like we do. And there is a lot of glass around. Whoop. So it is going to reflect a lot of this light. Alrighty, so maybe we'll do something like that. Okay. Alright, then we'll pop out to here. Do one there. Just kind of pop a light in between our benchy guys. We'll try to uplight our flower beds here. Just a little bit. Doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Like that's probably more than enough. Alright, I'm gonna bring the lights back up. Seems to be a little less harsh going from like midnight to like morning than from I don't know, whatever backward seems to be less harsh than forward, I think, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't. We'll work on getting this put into here. Okay, now we have to figure out how do we want to do these? How do we want to do these? Like, it's kind of curved, but it's kind of not. Oh. Really? Huh. I did not realize you could do that before. I mean, you've got the post sticking out, though. But it's not bad. It's not terrible. Huh. I kind of like it. Oh, hold on, my neck's trying to pull. Oh no. Okay, let's see. So I didn't put any umbrellas out here. Now, we could in fact come back in with umbrellas. Or alternatively, No, that wouldn't look quite right. What size is that? 6. I mean, it doesn't quite mesh in there. I mean, it's definitely an interesting idea. Sure. But, no, I think we'll just go with umbrellas then. Hi, Momo. Hi, buddy. Momo's here. What's up, my guy? You have to go potty? Yeah? Alright, you guys, we're gonna take a puppy potty break here. Oh, you got him?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Never mind, we're not taking a puppy potty break. Just the puppy's taking a puppy break.
Momo.
Go with Dad.
Oh, happy Fluffy. Oh, happy Fluffy. I see that tail. I see that happy puppy tail.
So, Momo needed another round of antibiotics. Hopefully we can get this sorted. For the buddy.
Come on, buddy.
So do you want to go with that color? I don't know, I don't like the two-tone umbrella look. It looks weird to me. I keep trying to like it, but I just don't. Okay, now, have we put in any trash cans in here whatsoever? No. Okay, so that's something else we need to do. Let's see, what do you even...
We're only supposed to get rain, right?
Why?
Because it's fucking cold out. I felt kind of sleetish when it hit my face.
It's dropped down to 39. As far as I know, it's only rain. I haven't seen anything else.
Jesus.
Maybe. Alright, so what if we make this entirely white? That's not bad. This feels kind of like foo-foo-y. It feels like gardeny. where do I want to put you? Where you're like not gonna be a ginormous pain in the ass. That's the problem that I am having right now for placement for you. Alright, well... Because, like, if I put you too far off the path... Oh, that's not what I wanted. I don't want you... Like, you just look like you're in the way there. Sometimes the size of the bin did this one not? Okay, so that one you can't change the color on, but I think it's okay. Like, I think we're okay there. Okay, so that one you can go this way or that way, or let's come back into here. Alrighty. This whatever it is that we caught on the way home can go screw, though. I'm tired of being sick. It's slowly getting better, but it's fucking annoying. And I am so totally over this bullshit. I never did get the chance to do Flamingo. They never, no one ever canceled. Or if they did, we were so far down the waiting list that we were never gonna get called. Hey, boss, trip was pretty good. My mom saw Key West and she's like, that's enough. Like, she was bored going to Sunset Celebration. She kind of wanted to watch the street performers, but we didn't have any cash to tip them, so I'm like, I don't want to be one of those people that's watching them and not tipping them, so we kind of kept moving around a little bit. We spent way more money on wire sculptures than we should have, as is tradition. I've increased my flamingo flock by quite a bit between Christmas ornaments and little figurines and some stuffed animals. My brother was happy to see my mom. He seemed happy to see me, which felt weird. I got to see the house that he's going to be putting up for sale, that he is in the process of moving out of, and I got to see his new house. I love his new house. yes. I was surprised there wasn't more flamingo stuff, to be perfectly honest. Trying to find shirts in my size was a bit of a pain. But, you know, I do understand that 2X isn't a size that's regularly kept in stock. It's not as prevalent as like the mediums and the larges and the extra larges and stuff. I get that. So I had a slight challenge trying to find some shirts to bring home, but I did find a couple. And my brother's like, oh, well, I'm gonna put the house up for sale in June. He goes, when I sell it, you know, maybe I can send you guys a couple bucks to come down again. Because he was that excited to see my mom. He goes, I don't know, maybe you guys can stay with me or Aunt so-and-so. And I'm like, Russell and I are like, we don't want to stay with people because we're weird about that. We'd rather just, you know, stay at a hotel, quite honestly, so we can decompress. And then it was like, oh, you know, maybe your mom can stay here and you guys can head back down to the Keys for a couple of days. And I'm like, huh. If she's okay with that, because when we were there this time, she kind of didn't want to stay with anybody else. She wanted to stay at the hotel with us. Which, you know, fair enough. But, she seemed okay with that possibility happening. So, yeah, and then he kept giving us money. Like, he insisted on giving us spending money to go down to buy stuff with, but I ended up spending that at at like a garden center that was in Tarpon Springs before we even hit the Keys, because they had some cool like metal art. We got like a plastic on a stick flamingo, because I've never seen it anywhere before, that like bobs its head up and down in the wind. I was like, oh, that's cool, I have to have that. And I got a flamingo sculpture for my desk, and we got her like a scrap metal rooster or something. And I got this little tiny stone turtle that its head and its limbs all like shake. They're all like on springs and stuff, kind of like a bobblehead, but its head and limbs all move. It could be. And then he insisted on buying us dinner the one night, and and Russell just found a $100 bill in his wallet that he forgot my brother gave him. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And we got sick. That was fun. Not really.
Oh, hey, boss.
But we actually are gonna go back in the end of September for her birthday. So, because he seems to definitely want to have her come down again sooner than later. And, her birthday's the end of September. So we're like, well, you know, how many trips could possibly be left? She's she's over 80, so, and she can still kind of move and she can still kind of see at the moment, so we're like, you know. Not a vacation without getting sick. You're thinking of a trip. Yeah. So it's like, you know. So whether my brother ends up selling the house and is able to send us money or not, we already booked it because we found a new place to stay. I swear to God, we can never stay at the same place twice. It fucking burns my ass because we find a place that we like, and for whatever reason, we just can't seem to stay there twice. Like, I tried looking up this place again, and the prices are through the roof. Now, granted, we only stayed there 3... Was it 3 nights? Was it Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night? Yeah, we stayed there 3 nights this time. But looking at the prices now for September, through the roof. Like, almost $100 more a night. And I'm like, why? It's the end of hurricane season. Why? Like, it's still hurricane season. Like, this is dumb. So, shouldn't be this fucking much this time of year. But, so, we think it was because they were under renovation. Like, the pool deck was closed, their restaurant was closed. There was definitely construction noise happening. For sure. 100%. My mom's like, oh, this is like torture. I'm like, what? It's not that bad. We're not in the hotel room that often. And it didn't start until like 9 a.m. I mean, and we're not out all night drinking. I guess if you were out drinking all night and had a hangover, you'd be kind of pissed. But because they had these scissor lifts. One was outside our hotel room window in the one alleyway, and it was just like beep, beep every time they were moving. I was just like, Jesus Christ. I thought it was funny. So, but you know, it's like we couldn't, but like we couldn't use the pool or anything, so I was kind of pissed about that. But and then the place that we stayed at where my brother lives, their hot tub was closed for reasons. They're like, hot tub is closed for until further notice. And I was like, okay, but why? So, that was interesting. So I was kind of bummed we didn't get to use the pool or even really see the pool because they had the pool deck closed and roped off, and we were like, well, maybe we can just like sneak out there at night and just take a look. But because I was like, I'd like to see what the pool deck looks like, you know, see if I want to attempt to come back. But I'm having a hell of a time with these trash cans. However, at night all the lights were turned off because they didn't want people out there. Oh wait, I had it briefly. I guess we could go with that. But we were really paying for the location. We knew that because it was like in the 400 block of was it the 430 block of Duval Street. So we knew we were paying for location 100%. And the room wasn't bad, and our room had been renovated, so it was a completed room. So that wasn't so bad. And it was alright. They're going to like a pink scheme, but it is a Marriott hotel now. So it is big bucks. Big bucks. So yeah, I got a bathing suit and then I couldn't even really wear it. I wore it once for like 15 minutes at one of the hotels we stopped at on the way home. They had an indoor pool. But there was thunderstorms coming through and tornado warnings near us. Like as soon as we got into the hotel room, we turned the TV on and the weather was on and it was talking about like a tornado warning was heading towards the city we were in. But it hadn't gotten to where we were yet. So I didn't want to dick around too long down there, and I wasn't feeling that great. We think we caught COVID at the tail end of our trip. We did go to the Tampa Zoo. It was a little pricey. We ended up doing it in 2 days because Russell wasn't feeling well the first day we went. It turns out that that was the first day he really was showing symptoms of COVID. And but we didn't realize that it was COVID at first, and we thought it was just like a weird 24-hour bug because our friend had gotten that. And we're like, oh, okay, well maybe that's what this is. And so he put a mask on when we were there the first day because we didn't know. And then second day he had one on again. I didn't have one on that day because I didn't think it was COVID.
Well, I mean, I had a mask on the entire fucking time once I realized I was sick, so...
Yeah. But,
and we made it 4 fucking years before we caught it.
Well, we also didn't really mask while we were out and about. And in hindsight, we probably should have the one day that we were at the Butterfly Conservatory because I
didn't have any on me by the time we got there.
Yeah, this was true. I mean, we could have gone back to the car, but that would have been like another 20-minute delay, and they were already busy. Like, it was shoulder to shoulder in the greenhouse, and then the line to pay to walk through the greenhouse with all the butterflies was wrapping around the inside of the store. It was wild. I've never seen it that busy ever in there. But Tampa Zoo was nice. It was a little pricey in my opinion. But it worked out because they had a ticket where you could buy like a day ticket, and then they had a version of it where you could come back for the rest of the year any day that wasn't blacked out on that same one-day ticket. It was interesting. Can't believe you didn't. Yeah, I mean, and my mom wouldn't have worn a mask anyway, even if we tried to get her to. So, it was inevitable. And we're still not really sure where we got sick. It was either in the greenhouse or, I mean, I would have thought it would have been in there. However, there was one store that Russell and I were in without her. She was waiting outside. It's called Key West Aloe. It was kind of like Key West version of Bath and Body Works. But the smells weren't obnoxious, so it was like, okay, I can do this. And I was looking for some key lime lotion because the lotion that we were getting before, the body butter, they don't make anymore. And the hand lotion, the Kermit's Key Lime shop isn't doing it anymore. They're like transitioning to just like the food products. So we bought out like almost their entire inventory that they had left in store in one of the locations of their bar soap. Because they had it marked down to like 3 in a box for $5. And Russell's like, oh no, we're getting this. And then they had my lotion not in that location, but in one of the souvenir stores. They had some left, and I like bought like 7 bottles of it. But then I had to find an alternative for when that runs out. So we were in Key West Aloe, and there was cruise ship in. And there was 2 people in there that were talking to the lady at the desk, and we heard her saying, oh, what cruise ship did you get off the Norwegian whatever? And they're like, yeah. And Russell said they were coughing. I wasn't paying any attention to them. But apparently they were like open mouth coughing, and he goes, yeah, the look on the worker's face was like pure horrification. And I'm just like, I bet. And, you know, we think it might have been the cruise people too. So it was probably more likely the cruise people, because I was like a day behind Russell and they were up at the counter and I wasn't. He was paying for something and I was still looking at stuff. And so he got it first, then I was like a day and a half behind him. And then my mom was like a day and a half behind me. But, you know, it was inevitable. Because, you know, we didn't have a mask on, and she wouldn't have had one on anyway, even if we had begged her to, because she gets claustrophobic and she starts telling me all this other shit. I'm like, well, you wore it before when you had to. But at least it waited until like the very end. And so I mean that wasn't too bad, at least in the grand scheme of things, I suppose. Like, can we just like be like right? I really wanted you like here, but I guess like, because that feels like you're gonna block the tables though, so maybe I don't want you there. But you know, it wasn't so bad. And there was this other place that I had seen ads for it on TripAdvisor when I was scrolling through, and I didn't consider them at first because I didn't know where they were located. I thought they were on a different side of the island, and it turned out they're like a half block, well no, they're like a block off of the main road. They're just like all the way at the end down towards the conservatory, the butterfly place's end of the road. But for some reason I thought they were on the new built up side. I thought they were just as you come in on the island. I was confused about where they were located. And I started looking at them a bit more after we got back, and I was like, oh, son of a bitch, that's where they're located. And they're like, their average nightly rate, depending on what's going on in town, like if it's not a special event, it was like $162 a night, and I was like, oh my god, that is so fucking cheap. I think somebody said that they were charging $15 a day for parking, maybe. I'm not sure. The website didn't say how much their parking fee was going to be, just that they started charging one in 2019. But we were paying $35 a day to park at the Marriott property that we stayed at, so it's really not so bad. And I did not realize that these people were right there, and I'm like, son of a bitch. Now, it's a motel. So it's, you know, it's kind of like a Days Inn, Comfort Inn thing where your room opens out onto like the parking lot area, which is fine. You know, as long as the beds are decent and the room's clean, I don't really care that much. My mom prefers like the Holiday Inn Expresses and stuff because those have the interior hallways, and she said she feels safer with those. So it's like, fine, whatever. But considering we paid, oh gosh, what did we pay? We paid, it was like $1,400 for like 3 nights. After the destination fee, and then there was the parking fee on top of it, and then this, and then that, and it was just like, damn, that's a lot of money. But, do I go glass roof? But this place, I'm like, I hope this place works out. Because their prices around Christmas were under $300 a night. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? Like, through Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Because I looked out of curiosity. Because it's a bucket list visitation time for me. To see all of the hotels and everybody lit up in their Christmas lights and everything. I've seen photos and it looks magical. And I'm just like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, right. I'm still going to need... Still going to need the thing. But it was under $300 a night. I'm like, seriously? It was like $250 or something. And I'm like, that's still less than we paid for now. That's how you feel for Halloween time. It's a to-do someday. Yeah, definitely. And Russell's like, well, that's not going to happen this year. I'm like, I more than know that's not going to happen this year. I'm not stupid. Like, this trip in September, I didn't think was actually going to happen. I was just looking at prices because my brain gets bored and it likes to look at things. And I'm like, what if? And so I was looking at the what if and I was like, oh. And Russell's like, what? And I'm like, no, never mind. He goes, no, tell me. And I'm like, well. And he's like, huh. I was like, yeah, and they have a parking lot. Like their own parking lot. We wouldn't have to find street parking or pay a different lot or park all the way down at the city garage at the other end of the main road. And he's like, huh. I'm like, yeah. Oh, it's red though. So I had him thinking, and then he's like, well, you know, and I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, fuck. And I'm like, yeah. So, here we are. Oh, that's roof decorations. I need a roof trim. So, that's what we decided to do. And if my brother helps us pay for some of the trip to drive down, cool. If he manages to sell the house, if not, okay, whatever. Kind of situation. Is this colorable? What is this? Okay, so it is just a planky guy. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Right now, hurricane season's gonna be my enemy. So we'll see. Hopefully we don't have to reschedule. Because that would be sad. But, you know, we'll see what happens. And this time we'll try to wear our masks so we don't get sick this time. Because this is some bullshit. It was not a fun drive home. Oh god, did you see the thing on the news with the plane that made the emergency landing on I-75? Down there, near Naples. That happened like 2 days after we drove through there. In that same stretch of road. And I was like, oh damn. When I saw it on the news, I was like, Russell. He goes, what? I said, we just came through there. Like, the same exact section of road. It actually looks familiar. Like, we drove through there twice. Like, this is fucking wild. So apparently, I don't know what happened. It was like a little... It was a private plane, right? It was bigger than like a little 2-seater Cessna. But it was smaller than like a 20-seat commuter jet. Like, it was somewhere in between. I think there was like 5 people on it. There was 2 pilots and like 3 passengers or whatever. And something happened, and I think they lost both their engines and they weren't going to make it into the airport. And they just tried to land on the interstate. While there was traffic going, I think they hit like a car or something. And then the thing burst into flames by the time they got it on the ground. And there was like this huge burn mark on one of the retaining walls or sound walls on the side of the interstate there. And I think 3 people managed to get off the plane alive, but I think both the pilots died. And I can't remember if anybody was injured in a vehicle. But that shit was wild. I was like, we seriously just came through here. Like, I think I saw it on the news while we were driving home. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Because one of the cities we went through, I can't remember where it was. It was... Shit. I think it was in Florida. Was it... was it like Fort Lauderdale? Miami? Or was it like up in Atlanta? Maybe it was in Georgia. I can't remember. There was some place where it might have been... Sorry, I'm trying to think and visualize at the same time. It doesn't work. It might have been when we were going down into the Keys, so it might have been like Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, because that was a mess. We took Alligator Alley 75 across from the West Coast towards Miami, and I think it cut us over near Fort Lauderdale, and then we had to hop on the turnpike. So it was a good thing we got our Sun Pass, because we did use it for that leg. And we were in the express lanes for a little bit. Because it's like, oh, well, we've got the Sun Pass, so we might as well. Type of thing. And, the airport, the planes were landing, like, right over top of us. That was fucking wild. I was like, oh my god. My mom's like, look at the plane. It's gonna land right over us. And I was like, it's gonna go right over us. And Russell and I were looking at a different plane, and we're like, yeah, no, it's right over there. She goes, no, it's directly above us. And we're like, what? And then we heard it. And then we saw, like, the landing gear and everything. We're like, oh shit. Like, that was pretty wild. Alright, I'm not gonna put the bottom piece on, because we're not gonna see the bottom piece back there. Oh yeah, that was a little, like, what is happening? So, I wasn't expecting that at all. Fascia top, base. And that's kind of cute. Alright, so, are you... I just want to make sure you're touching the ground here. How far? Okay, so I guess like there, perhaps. Accent paint. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Well, I think I like the white better. But yeah, so we booked this other place. It's, you know, we'll see what happens with it. We're actually gonna stay like a week. I'm so excited. You have no idea. I'm more excited about this trip the end of September than I was for the one that we just took, because it's just gonna be me and Russell in Key West together. From like checking in on a Wednesday, checking out on the following Wednesday. Y'all, the last time him and I were alone on a trip was our honeymoon. Like, we got married in 2007. How long has that been? I'm bad with math.
17 years.
Well, no, is this one? Is it? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so excited. I am so fucking excited. I'm like making a list of lower cost stuff that we can try to do. That we've never done before. Like, there's apparently a free garden near one of the art galleries, apparently, on the beach side of the island. that we've not ever really gone to before. And it's completely free to get in. They accept donations. But I'm like, oh. Well, that kind of sounds like fun. You know, even if just to go in and do like some pictures and stuff, and is this like just a, oh, this is like a different top. Oh, I don't like that one. Like, that's kind of cute. Yeah, let's go with that. Alright, what color is that? Okay, no, I want that to stay that color. Oh, well, hold on. And then this color. Yeah, that's better. Alright, do we want an awning? I mean, I guess we could in theory. Do maybe like a half awning? Oh, that's nice. That's not bad. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, so excited. So we're gonna do that, and it's within 20 minutes walking from the hotel, which sounds like a long walk, but it's not really. Just about everything's within a 20 to 30 minute walk from the hotel, depending on your walking speed, according to Google Maps. I think Google Maps walks at like like a mile an hour. Like him and I walk when we walk. We're on a mission, so it's probably only like 15-ish minutes. And we're gonna go to the beach. So this says it's a marquee bean. But I don't know what that means. You know what? No. I was thinking poles there, but there's poles up underneath, so I think we're fine there. Alright, wall signs, shop signs. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the weather shouldn't be so bad that time of year. When we went the last time, the middle of October, there was a couple of pretty warm days, but I think it might have rained once or twice, and that was like at night. The main thing that we're concerned about is the end of the hurricane season, and if we're gonna have to reschedule. Hopefully we won't have to. But we'll see. We will see. But so excited for that. And I'm like, triple checking with my mother. I'm like, you're sure about this? Because, you know, we're gonna be gone for this number of days. Like, you're sure that you're okay with us being gone this many days? She goes, no, that's fine. And she's like, how long are you gonna be gone? And I told her again, and she's like, And then she's like, well, I'll probably stay with my one aunt because she has a pool. So she has something to do to keep her occupied. And I'm like, you're sure this is okay before we book this number of nights? Because if we have to go shorter, we have to go shorter. She goes, no, that's fine. I'm like, okay. So, and we had to book the other day because Russell was playing with the dates when he was looking at it. And, he moved it 2 days in one direction and it wasn't available. And he's like, oh, really? And I'm like, well, it's getting closer into Fantasy Fest and October books up real fucking fast. He goes, but it's only February. And I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, like, yep, exactly. So, we ended up booking now, and it's like a one-night stay, basically. Cancellation fee if you cancel within X number of days or something, which, you know, fair enough. They're not a huge property. They say they have a heated pool. They do have a pool. And like a covered area outside that they do continental breakfast at. But him and I don't usually pay much attention to continental breakfast. There's so many other places to eat at down there. Like, there's this one Cuban coffee place that had really good chocolate croissants that we didn't really go to until, like, our second day there because we didn't know about them. And then there's another restaurant that he liked that we had breakfast at twice. On top of it, we had to get my mom coffee at the Cuban place because the creamer went like granularly on the top, and apparently they had a breakfast buffet at the hotel that you could pay extra for, and I'm like, I'm not paying extra for that. We're already spending how much? I'm not paying extra for breakfast. I'm sorry. That's dumb. I mean, I'm not that much of a cheapskate, but come on. It's a Marriott property, and we're spending how much a night? Like, friends. You've dim lost your minds. Hi, Zuzu. Oh, we're happy buddy. And so they had free coffee in the morning, though. I don't know what happened to the coffee creamer that they had sitting out. I guess they ran out or something, like the prepackaged stuff. Because, they suddenly brought over creamer.
Susie, you gotta wait a minute.
Do I need to get him?
You just have to
They brought over creamer in like a paper cup.
Okay.
And we didn't know that that was the creamer at first. And we're like, hey, do you have any more creamer? And they're like, oh no, that's it. And Russell and I kind of paused for a moment. And I'm like, we're paying over $300 a night.
Well, you know, I can understand that as a temporary fix till they get more creamer, and they did eventually get more creamer. My problem was the fact that it's separated when we put the coffee in.
Yeah, like, I don't drink coffee, but I also know that when you put creamer in it, it's not supposed to, like, get granularly and look...
You okay, Zuzu?
Oh, what happened? What happened?
Zuzu ducked under my feet because he wouldn't give me enough room to do this.
Oh,
Hi,
goodness.
you okay, buddy? You okay? Oh, I'm sorry.
He's also
you
a
okay?
drama queen, so...
You okay? Yeah. Oh,
Did you actually step on him?
I'm sorry, I got his foot.
Okay.
Wait, lightly. You okay? Let me have a look. Let me see.
It couldn't have been that bad. Momo didn't get up.
Yeah, okay. You're okay. Stay there.
So, it's like... Okay, but...
Stop walking under my feet while I'm trying to get your stuff.
So, Russell's like, yeah, no... My mom was gonna drink it anyway, and he's like, no, you're not drinking that.
Nope.
He's like, we'll be right back. There is a coffee place that opens at 7 a.m. right around the corner from the hotel. It was like a 5-minute walk. He goes, we'll be right back. Because she's a smoker, so she had to get up at the crack of dawn to smoke. And, there were mornings that she had one of us up, or usually me, at like 5:30, between 5:30 and 6 a.m. to go smoke. I wasn't a huge fan of that, and she's like, I can go on my own, it's fine. And I'm like, no, you can't. She's unsteady on her feet a lot, where she like keeps putting her arms out to like grab onto stuff to steady her. Even when she has her cane, she's a little unsteady on her feet. And then she doesn't remember which way she's supposed to go a lot of the times. Like, there were times where we would get off the elevator and she would kind of be confused about where we were supposed to go, even though this was like the 4th or 5th time we had come that direction to go smoke. And she's like, I can do this on my own, you don't have to come with me. I'm like, I'm not giving you a hotel key and letting you go smoke at who the fuck knows when you're this unsteady on your feet. I'm like, if you ever fell, I'd never hear the end of it from my brother. I'm like, so...
Especially if she broke a fucking hip.
Yeah, and then that's going to be even more trouble getting you home. So how about we not be silly? It's not that big of a deal. We'll just go out with you. I know, right? Zuzu gets so excited. He's okay. And he is a bit of a drama queen. But he's alright. But, and then the one day she's like, you don't have to go with me, it's fine. And so I didn't direct her, I just followed her. And she got to the lobby and she just kind of stood there and she's looking around. She's like, I'm like, it's that way. She goes, I know where I'm going. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. But we've also learned that my mom is a bit of a social butterfly. Russell and I are paranoid bitches, so we find it weird when people we don't know suddenly start striking up a conversation with us, and we're like, huh? We're gonna make this right after all. Like, we're like, I don't know you. Like, out in the wilds, like, here you're supposed to talk to people, but, you know, when you're, I don't know, maybe it's a smoker's thing? I really don't know. You can get lost in the hallway. Yeah, and so they only give us 2 keys, and I don't want her getting lost. You did a few times in Florida. Usually it was older ladies. It wasn't ladies that she was talking to, though. It was guys. Like, the one hotel we stopped at, she goes to sit down, and, like, the first couple words out of this dude's mouth was, like, something political, and I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like, why do we have to launch into politics? And he starts going on, and I'm sure he was just lonely. But you don't know, right? Like, you don't know if somebody's trying to size you up or see what kind of vibe you're gonna give off. You just don't know. And this guy was a little odd. And like I said, he might have just been lonely, but it was odd for what he immediately launched into. And then they'll be like, oh, you know, what are you doing down here? And they see this 80-some-year-old woman tottering towards a bench, struggling to get her lighter to light, you know, and I'm like, and she always, sometimes she had her damn pocketbook with her, and I'm like, she made me nervous, because then she starts, oh, you know, not just a simple, oh, I'm just, you know, down here to see family, it's, oh, I'm down here to see my family, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Mom, you're giving people too much information. Yeah, like he started, like, he launched into about how bad the economy was and what a struggle it was for him to get this trip in that he took every year, and I'm like, and, you know, was starting to make it a political thing, and I'm like, and Russell and I were just kind of, like, inching ourselves in between, either side of her. Because we're like, And then at a different hotel, the one that we were at the longest when we were seeing my brother, she's down there smoking, and I guess it was a husband and wife started talking to her. And Russell's like, they asked some really fucking bizarre questions. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, is it normal to just, you know, launch into somebody and be like, oh, how many people are traveling in your car? And I'm like, no, that's kind of odd. I'm like, that's fairly odd. Now, I don't think, they might have been from Canada. But it's still an odd question to ask. How many people are in your car? Like, I'm like, huh? What? Like, why? I mean, I know some people are a little more sunbaked than others down there, but, that's a question that I wasn't with them. And that's a question that would have thrown me. And they asked a couple of other things that kind of, like, my mom was answering, and Russell wasn't a huge fan about, and I'm like, Russell's like, it felt like they were fishing for information, and I'm just like, And I said to my mom, now I grew up, well, she grew up in that area too, and, you know, she would go to the casinos and stuff in Atlantic City. And I said to her, I said, Mother, if these same people asked you these same questions, if you were in the casino in Atlantic City, would you be answering them the same way? would you even answer some of these questions? She goes, hell no. I'm like, then what are you doing? I'm like, stop. Because some of them gave off sketchy vibes. One or two were probably fine, and it was just smokers being chatty. Maybe it's a smokers thing, I don't know. Some of them, not so much. And I'm just like, why do you want to know? Maybe it's just my suspicious nature. Being a girl. And some of the shit I've had to deal with people coming up on me on the street when at 4 a.m. waiting for the train shuttle after my shift at the casino, thinking I'm a hooker trying to kiss me. And I'm like, excuse me, I'm dressed in a work uniform. Like, I have long pants on, a fucking long sleeve shirt on, and a coat that goes to the ground. I'm not a fucking hooker. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. But, you know, there's so many stories lately about, you know, people being abducted and shit. I'm like, Mom, stop talking to people. And I'm like, Mom, there's a difference between being civil and polite and then being in a one-on-one situation in a parking lot area where there's cars everywhere and you don't know if this person's a local and they're just pretending to stay here, or, you know, you don't know their deal. Like, please stop talking to people. Yeah, no, I just thought it was weird that they were asking, oh, how many people are in your car? And Russell's like, okay. And then he said that, I think he saw them later getting onto the elevator or something, and they both had drinks in their hands. Or I had seen them at the front desk and they had drinks in their hands, and one of them said something about, oh, I need to get this refilled or something. So I guess maybe they were tipsy. Could explain the weird questions. Fair enough. But yeah, like, that was another reason why I never wanted her alone. She has poor balance, and nothing happened. And I wasn't expecting anything to happen. But you never know. People, you know, they might be local to the area and they're trying to figure out, you know, who might have money on them. Sometimes older people travel with cash on them. And she's not the most stable creature on her feet. So I'm like, you're not going out without one of us. I'm sorry. She's like, it's fine. I'm like, I don't care. You're not going out without one of us. I'm like, Mom, no offense, but somebody's gonna see you and you're gonna be, you know, an easy target. She goes, well, what's that supposed to mean? I'm like, Mom, they could knock you over in a heartbeat. There we go. Especially if you have your purse with you. It's like, don't bring that down with you. Somebody sees you coming down there by yourself to smoke. I mean, I'll drop you off and I might run to the car to grab something. Or I might be bringing luggage down and stuff, but I'm making my presence known so somebody knows you're not by yourself. And you're never alone very long. Were we being extra paranoid? Maybe. But, you know. Sometimes it's better to be a little paranoid. Sometimes. And when I phrased it to her about, would you do any of this if you were at the casino? Well, now. And she's like answering me like I'm stupid. I'm like, then what the fuck are you doing it down here? I'm like, Mom, I feel like this is a conversation we've had before in reverse. Stranger danger, mother. Stranger danger.
Yeah, coming from her, that's pretty fucking rich.
Yeah, because she was fucking overprotective, paranoid with me. Like, not wanting me out of her sight. I had to hold on to the shopping cart all the time growing up and shit. 500 locks on the doors and stuff. And then she's just talking to people she doesn't know, and I'm like, huh. What the fuck are you doing? Preferred paranoid over ignorant. Yeah, because I'm like, we actually had to have this conversation with her, and it blows my mind that we did, but I'm like, Mother, not everyone has good intentions. I was like, you do understand how that it's terribly ironic that we're having this conversation with you, right? She goes, well, I guess I'm just a nice person. And I'm like, nice has nothing to do with it. And this is why we don't want you being alone. Like, we were given a hard time before we left, like, joking around. We're like, oh, we're gonna get you an Instagram handle. And since you want to be a social butterfly, and we were originally saying, oh, well, what are we gonna to name it? And then we're like, Grandma Teeter Totter, because, you know, you're so unsteady on your feet. And then I was like, no, let's shorten it to Grandma Teets. And she's like, stop it, that's not nice. And I'm like, Mom, come on, you could be the new Instagram influencer. I was like, just think, you'll be blowing up the Instagram with your hot takes on stuff. You can rate the smoking area. Oh shit. You can rate the smoking areas. Some of these hotels or something. I don't fucking know. She wasn't amused. I'm like, you know, we'll get you like a granny square crocheted bikini, or, you know, one piece or whatever. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's make that the shorter one, actually, because then I can do the little awning guy on there, because I kind of liked that. Liked it probably more than I should. And Terry T goes, yeah, and I'm like, she's like, stop it. I'm like, well, you like to talk to all these guys. I keep making fun of her. She somehow has guys that just walk down the street here that she started waving to, and I'm like, huh, Stop. You don't know who these people are. And then apparently one of them came over and introduced himself the one day, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. I'm like, you're trying to pick up a new guy? She's like, how dare you? I would never. I'm like, well, then what the hell are you waving to these guys for? You're old enough to be their mother. I'm like, what are you doing? And then after we came back, I guess it was Saturday? It might have been Saturday morning. I'm sitting here, and because she had me up so early, I was having trouble going or staying asleep to the times that I used to sleep until. Plus, you know, being on the road, a lot of mornings we were up early. Like she'd be getting up at like 5:30, 6 to go smoke, and then we'd be getting on the road by like 7:30, depending on what our schedule looked like for the day, how many hours we were trying to get in on the road. And I guess that's about right. And I'm sitting here. I think Momo might have woke me up too. We're still dealing with Momo issues. Momo needs another round of antibiotics. Which he just started today. I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm hearing voices. Russell was asleep, and I'm like, why do I hear a guy's voice talking? Like, this is weird. And I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck am I hearing? I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I know I'm hearing somebody talking. And I swear, I look outside, and here's my mom chatting away with some random dude in our front yard, and I'm like, the fuck is this? And I didn't know who this was, so I'm like standing there looking out the front door, just kind of trying to keep an eye on the situation, because I'm like, who the hell is this? Because it didn't look like it was our neighbor. And our neighbor's not very chatty. The guy. The wife can be sometimes, but he's usually not. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm super confused. And I'm kind of trying to listen. And the dude's going on and on and on and on, and I'm like, what is this? Why? And the way she was talking, it sounded like they had talked before, and I'm like, well, maybe it's the one guy. So I stepped away, and then they're still going on and on and on. And, I think he finally left. And then I think later that day I said something, and Russell's like, oh, and she's like, oh, that's so-and-so. Apparently, he asked if I had missed him, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't been here. I was like, so apparently he didn't know that she had been away. And then she was like supplying that information. Where is this? Like, I know what I'm looking for, I'm just not finding it. You're too afraid to do that? They'll try to come. Yeah, like, I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? Apparently, it was some retired dude that she's been talking to off and on, and apparently he was telling her that, oh, he got bored being retired, so he took a part-time job at the school as a janitor or something. So I guess that he wouldn't be around as much or some shit. I don't know. And I'm just like, oh, good grief. Like, the one person she was talking to apparently decided to ask her if she had an extra cigarette the one day, and I'm like, Mom. I was like, you know how fucking expensive those are? I said, you didn't give them one, did you? She goes, yeah. I was trying to be nice. I'm like, Mother. You understand that's not going to be like a one-time thing now, right? You don't know this person. Where is my... Okay. INF. The hell?
There's a cat stretching themselves.
Oh, alright. I wasn't sure if it was Momo making weird noises. Normal smoker nonsense. Yeah, like, but we have, there's some people in the area that, would hang out at the car wash at like 2 or 3 in the morning trying to scrub the paint off of their cars. If you get what I'm saying. And we would see them walk up and down the street every so often. So, you know, we didn't know who she was talking to. And, what was up with that? So I'm like, I'm gonna have to start like tethering you to the house to put up a fucking invisible fence or something to make sure you don't start wandering off. This is gonna have to get slid over a little bit more. Excuse me. Sorry. And for... I mean, it's cool that she, I guess, made a friend, but we weren't sure who she was talking to, and I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? I understand this is like a rural town, but not everybody's nice. In fact, there's some real assholes in this town. It's like she moved to the country and suddenly turned off all forms of self-preservation, I guess. But, yeah, we ended up doing Tampa Zoo 2 days. And, one section wasn't open. I don't know if they were refurbishing it, or...
Yes, they were refurbishing it.
Or what was going on with that. I kind of thought it was going to be a little bit bigger than it turned out to be. But they had, like, a decent number of species. But one entire, like, their entire Australia section was closed for refurbishment. The other section, like their Florida wild section, a huge section of that was closed for refurbishment. They had a few animals off exhibit. For reasons, I guess. They actually had chimps that were the most vocal chimps I've ever heard. I don't know if it's because maybe they're, I don't want to say taken care of better, but maybe their habitat's more suited for them there, because we've seen chimps at our zoo that we go to in Tulsa, but we've never heard them be loud like that. Ever.
Well, to be fair, the ones at Tulsa have that tiny ass enclosure and
Yeah.
just kind of lay there.
Yeah. So, there was actually a log flume at Tulsa. Not at Tulsa, at Tampa, excuse me. Which I was like, huh? Like, my aunt's like, oh, who's gonna go on the ride with me? And I'm like, I can't because of my neck. What are you talking about? What ride? I thought it was a roller coaster at first. It's a fucking log flume. And then they had a carousel, and I think the rides were included in your ticket price. I think. Alright, we haven't done any, like, walkway lighting out here yet. So we should probably do that. And, there was a carousel. I think there was some sort of safari ride too, but we didn't do that. I will say I was really disappointed. I got a couple things from the gift shop both days that we were there. I got a mug, right? Like a ceramic mug. Didn't say anything about, you know, not to actually use it or anything. It didn't say it was like for decorative purposes only or anything. So we washed it, hand washed it, and I went to use it, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, son of a bitch. Russell's like, what's the matter? I said, the ink on my mug, on the side of it that says Zoo Tampa or whatever, half of it's gone. It it washed off being hand washed. I'm like, what the hell? So now my pink mug that said Zoo Tampa on it now says like Amzo something. And I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm pissed. Like, it wasn't super expensive. It was like under 15 bucks. But that's not the point. Mugs shouldn't do that. Like, it's not like I threw it in the dishwasher or in the microwave or something. I'm like, it was fucking hand washed in water that was as hot as hands could stand. Like, I'm not even sure if I washed it or if Russell washed it. But it's not like we sat there and scrubbed the ink off. We just, you know, normal washed it. And I didn't even notice it was missing. So maybe he washed that one. But I'm like, excuse me? What the fuck? So I don't know what the hell that's about, but not too pleased with that. But I can't bitch too hard because they made a mistake that I didn't catch until after we had already gone out. Because the second day, I got some shirts. They had like a sweatshirt pullover that I had wanted. I'd seen it the first day and I was like, I don't know. Russell wasn't feeling good, so I wasn't going to get an accurate answer from him as to whether or not it'd be okay for me to get it. Because I kind of had the credit card and was loose in the in the gift shop on my own.
I know that this is her descriptor.
Yes, this is mine.
I was not being a shit about her.
No. He was very... Only once or twice did he kind of cringe on something and made me second guess it.
What did I cringe on?
It was something.
I don't remember cringing on anything. I remember you assuming I was going to cringe a few times.
It might have been in the butterfly place. Where you were like, eh.
Well, that's because it was ugly as shit. That
to
wasn't
you.
about buying stuff. It was about you buying ugly shit because it was there.
To you. But, I wanted second opinion about it. And I wanted to think about it. And I didn't know we were coming back the second day. But we ended up going back the second day. And, so I got 2 long sleeve shirts, and a stuffed animal that I had missed the first day that I didn't see. And, we had put the stuff up on the counter, and Russell was with me for this, and dude says, oh, your total is, and he goes, oh, I missed the shirts. So he rang the shirts up, and I was running the tally in my head, and I had an idea of how much it was going to be, roughly. And he said the total, and I tilted my head to the side, and I looked at Russell, and Russell kind of stared at the pin pad, and he goes, and we were both like, really? And we're like, that seems low. And we said it out loud. And
I didn't think we said it out loud.
I did. I said it out loud. I don't know if he heard us, but I said that out loud. And we kind of shrugged and we're like, okay, maybe something was on sale that we didn't realize. So we paid for it. We left. We're out in the parking lot and I'm like, let me see that receipt. So Russell hands me the receipt and I'm looking at it and I'm like, he didn't ring up one of my shirts. And we're like, fuck. Because, they have a bag check that they actually follow to get in and out. Well, to get in. And we're like, what do we do? Because we were already back at the car. And Russell's like, maybe he didn't scan it on purpose. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, what do we do? And if we thought we could have gotten back in without a bunch of trouble, we probably would have gone back in.
But by then we were already out of the bag check. So.
But we had already long since gotten out of the bag check area. And the line to get back in through bag check was astronomical at that point. And I'm just like, oh, fucking hell. So we were like, well, I know what we can do about it now. Yeah, so, I mean, I feel really bad because the one shirt was not exactly cheap. But at the same time, it wasn't my job to ring it up either. So I'm like, I mean, you know, I feel bad, but at that point, it was gonna be like a half an hour ordeal to try to get back in and be like, hey, you didn't ring up my thing. If we could have just like walked back up to the gate and been like, hey, one of my things didn't get rung up and it wasn't going to be a huge thing, we probably would have. But at that point, it was just going to be a thing. So we were like, well, fuck it. We're already well outside the gates. I feel bad about it, but at that point it was like, well, oh well. And we had another thing where we got home. Now we shipped stuff ahead of us because we didn't have a whole lot of room in the car because of the wheelchair and the trunk and stuff. So we had gotten so much stuff and it was so crazy in the butterfly place. And I had picked out 2 things that had been hanging from the ceiling. And Russell had went and got somebody to get it down and stuff. And he had said to them twice when he was checking out, he goes, those 2 things on the counter are mine too. Well, we got home and I'm sitting here and I'm unwrapping boxes and putting stuff into piles and sorting out my mom's stuff from the stuff that we shipped and going through the bags that came with us in the car. And I got to the very end and I'm like, hey, there's shit missing. And Russell's like, what? I'm like, there's shit missing. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, there's stuff missing. He goes, what stuff? And I'm like, you know, stuff. Like, my wind flappy flamingo. I'm gonna have to put you over here, aren't I? The way these pathways are lining up. like, I had picked out this flamingo. It's got a weight on it. It's like a wood carved thing, and I thought it was like the cutest thing ever. And oh, I guess missing. And I'm like, wait a minute, didn't we get a wind chime from there too? That's missing too. I thought you had shipped that. And he's like, no. And then we're frantically trying to go through the receipts because we didn't take a receipt from every place. And we're like, the fuck. And we did manage to find the receipt for that one. It was never rung up. So I was like, oh, well, okay, I guess. So I was kind of sad about that because I was like, damn, I like really wanted that. I was excited about it, but I had gone outside ahead of them to get the wheelchair out of the way because it was so busy in there and it was so tight that I was like, I'm just gonna wait outside for you guys because this is getting to be a lot for me in here. And yeah, so that never got bought. Yeah, I mean, you know, I probably... Yeah, I mean, I probably shouldn't feel bad, but it was also a $50 shirt, so I felt really bad. But I'm like, yeah, maybe this is a present for some of the things that happened. So it's like, okay. I mean, all in all, it wasn't a bad trip. I thought, oh, are you floating? Oh shit, you are floating. Okay, hold on. Let me deal with this guy first. The drive down into Florida was a little crazy. I thought going through, I mean, I wasn't the one driving though, but like going through Birmingham and Atlanta was a little wild. Memphis was a mess. Because apparently I-55 a section of it was closed in Memphis, I guess for construction or some shit, and they were detouring I-55 onto I-22. There was a couple times on the way home on that section we were sitting still. Oh, maybe that's why I thought that was floating, because that guy's embedded in there. So that means you're floating. Okay, where else did I put these guys? Is that it? Alright, that might be it. Okay. Yeah. I was like, oh damn. So, I mean, I felt really bad, but we had also spent like $100. Well, we spent like, it was under $100, and in my head I'm like, shouldn't that have been like 120? And it was like 85 or something. I'm not entirely convinced he didn't scan something else either, because the guy was going on about how, oh, we don't have one-use bags, we only have the reusable bags for $3 each. The money goes back in to help the zoo. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And I just picked a bag behind him because I really didn't care. I mean, quite honestly, I really didn't need the bag because we were just going straight out to the car and we had a backpack with us. We could have just shoved it in there, or at least some of it. But I was like, fine, whatever. And when he said the total, I was like, don't seem right. Maybe my math is bad. Alright, we got that and that. Alright, I need to get our pathway here. But, I mean, it wasn't too bad of a trip, all things considered. Food was a little iffy on the way, on the in-betweens. Because, you know, the one place we stayed at, we hadn't planned on staying. So I didn't know what there was for food, but it was getting dark and I was getting weird about us driving in the dark because we were in an area that we didn't know, and I was getting more and more upset because my mom had kept wanting to stop the smoke. And so our bathroom breaks were taking longer than we had anticipated that one day, and I think we had like another half an hour to go, and Russell's like, fuck it, because we saw a sign for a Holiday Inn Express, and he goes, we're going here. He's like, I'm executive decisioning, we're just gonna stop here. And I'm like, but we don't know if there's anything to eat here, because the one town we drove through in Alabama had a Holiday Inn Express. You could see it up on the hill from the interstate. However, there was no food near it. That was the exit, was the Holiday Inn. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, it was interesting. So it was like, yeah, okay, sure. And then we're trying to follow the signs for the Holiday Inn, and I think he was quick trying to put it into the Google Maps on the phone. And we were driving for what felt like forever for getting off the interstate. I'm like, where the fuck is this Holiday Inn? And it was like 2 miles or something, but it felt a lot longer because it was in an area that we didn't know. Okay, we did the cloudless sulfur. Oh wait, that's right, we were using the thingies out front. Okay. We did the cloudless sulfur. Who was the other one? Who were you? European Peacock. Okay, what time is it? 25. Okay, so we did you. We did you. Old World Swallowtail. No, you know what? I want Old World Swallowtail to be here. So who do we want you to be? The Monarch or the Blue This is the blue Morpho, right? Yeah. Alright, we'll do blue Morpho. In this one. But, I thought I hit that key. It was funny because, the hotel that we stayed at near where my brother lives, there was a miniature golf course right out front. It was open. They had live baby alligators outside that you could feed, like, little feeder fish to, like, off of a fishing pole. And you could also get your picture... Was it get your picture taken and hold it, or it was just hold it? I can't remember. It might have been both. For a little baby alligator. And they had a scavenger hunt that you could do while you were doing your round of mini golf. And Russell and I tried to do it, and we missed like one of the things, I think. Maybe two. And they said all the ones that we did write down were correct. And I was like, well, where's this one? And the guy told us, and we're like, okay. But then they gave us participation gifts anyway. Like, we got a stupid chintzy plastic scavenger hunt, like, gold medal or something on a ribbon. And they had these scratch off things for the park that were like coupons, and he actually scratched one that was like $2 off the hold the baby gator, but he didn't end up doing it. He kept wanting to and then changing his mind. I think when we go back through there in September, he might actually do it then.
Yeah, we'll see.
But we'll see if he changes his mind again. But it was a cute little golf course, and it was like right attached to the hotel parking lot, so that was fun. That's so Florida, yeah, pretty much. And we did a touristy thing that we've never done ever, which was stop at one of the Florida citrus welcome centers. And I bought a baby lime tree, and we bought a potted palm that's an indoor thing. And they were like in these like sealed tight plastic bags that would keep them alive until you got home. And we looked up both plants, and both were okay to be around the cats. And it's a good thing too, because one of the cats uprooted the palm plant within 3 days of us planting it and chewed the little leaves off the top of it. We don't know if it's going to survive. I had to replant it. I haven't checked on it yet today. They didn't touch the lime plant though, which I thought was interesting. But I guess we'll see what happens with that. They were running out of oranges and citrus. I heard the one lady was talking to somebody. She goes, yeah, we're almost out of this and we're almost out of that. And it sounded like that they were, I guess whoever runs those was getting an order for what they needed to bring in to refill, because it was pouring. It rained our first day on the road down there, and then it was they were talking about showers on the day that we left, but then my aunt got all in a tizzy and called my brother saying something about they were expecting like high winds, like Lynn's down in the road, and we're like, we'll be fine. And we never really hit a thunderstorm till we stopped that first night in Georgia. And that's when, you know, we were seeing the tornado warnings and shit, because my mom was like all upset. I'm like, no, there's a tornado watch, but it's to our south. It's like down near Fort Myers. And when we were going to check out, there were some people that were actually extending their stay. We extended our stay a day when Russell wasn't feeling well, and we had to cut the zoo trip short because we weren't sure if he was going to be able to drive home the next day. So we were able to extend our stay there by a day. without any problems. We didn't have to change rooms or anything. And I think because we did it early enough. And there was some kind of convention. There was a marriage convention.
Important detail. It was a Christian marriage convention.
Yes, it was a Christian marriage retreat or something, I guess would be the proper wording for it, while we were there on the way home. And because we were only supposed to be there one night, but then we stayed 2. And when we had checked back in, or no, the second day we had come down, we were heading out to try to attempt the Tampa Zoo again. There was some lady bitching at the front desk about, but we just wanted to get here early enough to get settled in and things. Then they're like, yes, but the person that's in charge of this has to be here first because we need the payment in full from them or something. And going on about some shit, and we're like, the fuck? And then we're like, oh, it's some kind of convention or something. And then I saw the sign and actually read it, and I'm like, what is this? And I looked it up, and I was like, oh, that's what it is. And then when we checked out and we were leaving, we had to use the bathroom again real quick. They had a big public bathroom down by the convention spaces. And they had all of the people that participated in the retreats, couples photos with like certificates in front of them sitting on tables out in the hallway. I'm like, that's weird. It's just sitting out here in the open. And I'm like, okay. It was very odd. But I guess they had dinner catered the one night, and we had gotten food delivered from a place across the street. And my brother came over, and he was eating with us because there wasn't enough room in our room to have him come up and eat up there. And it was just easier because there was tables and chairs and stuff. And they kept going up to the front desk, and they're like talking to the front desk lady that was on duty. And she's like, oh, but I'm the only one here. I'm sorry. So it sounded like they wanted her to come eat or something. And I think she wanted no part of this madness. Maybe it's something that they're there a lot, or maybe it's like a local thing or something. I don't know. But it sounded like in the tone of, oh, darn, I can't. I'm the only one on shift, you know, kind of thing. And it was just kind of weird. Wow, 1 to 90. Polly, okay. Okay, so we don't... Alright, so we can do whatever here. Alright, that's fine. So that was a little weird. And when we stopped in Tifton, Georgia on our way home. That was our first stop for the night. We were gonna stop in the place that we had stopped at on the way down in Lake City, but that was only like a 2.5 hour drive from where we were. And that hotel was very strange. It was a Holiday Inn, not an Express. So it was an older building. I liked the fact that there was a Ruby Tuesdays in the parking lot, and we all managed to eat from there without a problem. But the hotel was very strange. They had 2 elevators that were so fucking slow, like watching paint dry slow. It was 6 stories. I think they had a pool, but I can't remember if it was inside or outside. It might have been inside, but we just didn't have the chance to check it out. And it was strange because there was like, they had like they had like a bar, and then they had like a small restaurant kind of, but the restaurant seating was kind of like near where the bar seating was, and it wasn't like an enclosed restaurant. So you could pay for breakfast there, but we're like, nah, that's alright. I forget what we ended up doing for breakfast that morning. We did something. I don't remember what, though. We might have hit a McDonald's or something. And when you took the elevator up to the room, it was open hallway that you could look over down into the atrium area where like the bar and the restaurant was. And for some reason, Russell and I got such vertigo every time we did that, which didn't make sense to us, because we're not usually that badly affected by that kind of thing. But every time we looked down, it kind of felt like fishbowl lensy, where like things just looked distorted looking down over this railing. It was very bizarre. And we even when we were laying in bed there, we kept feeling like we were gonna fall. It was weird. It was very weird. And the whole time we were walking around in there, because like we had to go down to a different floor to get ice and stuff, because there wasn't an ice machine on our floor. Every time I stopped walking, I felt like I was gonna fall. And he's like, no, that's just from being in the car all day. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, I had that experience the first time we went somewhere in a long time, where we were in the car for days on end. But I didn't really have that sensation this trip. It was only when we stayed in that particular hotel. It was very odd.
Which I did eventually agree with you with.
Yeah, eventually you did.
We got up to the top at one point and I noticed it.
Yeah. Like, because we were bored, so we were dicking around. We're like, let's go check out the ice machine on this floor. And, because we had pent-up energy from being in the car all day, even though we were tired, but, we were unsettled, and I'm like, this is weird. Like, it kept feeling like we were, like, bumping, like hitting a bump, but it was the only hotel out of the whole trip that I ever had that sensation in. It was very strange. Very, very strange. I didn't like that. But I liked the fact that there was eatery options right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Why does it sound like there's an engine running outside? You hear it, right?
There's a truck out there that's producing noise, I think.
Okay.
Might also be a school bus somewhere, because kids are getting out.
So what was that? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So when we stopped in Tifton, we didn't realize that the Holiday Inn Express we were staying in was an older Holiday Inn Express. They must have had some really wild weather there, because when we stopped to eat, we got there a little early, so we went to go eat lunch before we checked in. So we ate at the Cracker Barrel, and the Cracker Barrel was out of broccoli, and I think they might have been out of something else. I was like, that's weird. And we went and checked in, and there was an Applebee's in the parking lot, like right next to it. So I was like, well, let's go over there and eat dinner. So Russell and I were gonna get something to bring back, and we're placing our order, and they're like, oh, we're out of hamburgers. Russell and I are like, out of hamburgers? What? And then they were out of this. And they were also out of broccoli or something. And And him and I are like looking at each other funny. We're like, how is a restaurant out of this much stuff? And then one of the workers goes, oh, the weather's been wild here. Our truck's delayed. So yeah, we're out of a bit. And he got an Oreo cookie milkshake. Lady rung it up, and then I'm like, well, oh, I want the chocolate cake with the ice cream. He goes, I don't know how well the ice cream's gonna make it back to the hotel. I'm like, I don't care, I want it. And lady goes, oh, we're out of ice cream. Or vanilla ice cream or something. And I'm like, fine, I want the cake anyway. Not thinking about the fact that he had just gotten rung up for a milkshake. She went to make the milkshake, and she goes, I can't believe she's like, I completely didn't even think about the fact that we don't have any ice cream. And he's like, okay. And she's like, can I substitute something else for you? He goes, I'd rather just, you know, can't you just refund it? She goes, we can't do refunds. He goes, what do you mean you can't do refunds? She's like, I can't refund it. She goes, we can, like, send you a gift card for the amount. And Russell and I are like, what the fuck do you mean you can't refund it? You just rung it up. And he's like, fine, whatever. So they took his email. Did you ever get that email?
Yeah. But I don't know what I'm going to use it for. I'm not going to eat at that fucking place.
How much was the gift card for?
$10.
Yeah, like, we're like, how do you run out of hamburgers at an Applebee's? I'm sorry, what? And we're like, how can you not do a refund? Like, we were kind of mad. So I had gotten a smoothie that was supposed to be strawberry mango. They gave it to us, and I'm sitting there, and apparently there was an alcoholic version and a non-alcoholic version. And I don't really drink. Once in a great while, I will do something with alcohol in it. But it's usually like the pre-mixed frozen things that you throw in the freezer. I'm sitting there and I'm drinking it while we were waiting for the rest of our food to go. And like my throat's kind of burning, and I'm like, huh? I'm like, this is weird. And I thought I had tasted strawberry at first. But then I wasn't sure. Because it should have been mixed into it, you know? 2 different flavors. And I'm like, am I having an allergic reaction to mango? Because my throat was starting to burn, and I'm like, this is weird. I've had mango sorbet before, and it's not burned. And I'm like, this is... And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, did they put alcohol in this? Because a couple of adult beverages I've had over the years have a slight burning sensation when you drink them, like when it goes down my throat. And I'm sitting there kind of dumbfounded about this. Because I wasn't sure, right? Because I don't normally drink straight mango. We get back to the hotel. Russell tried his food. He goes, this is disgusting. He couldn't eat his. My mom tried her onion rings. She was like, these are gross. She couldn't eat hers. I go into the bathroom and I take the lid off of my drink. There's no strawberry in it. At all. And it smelled real strong. And I'm like... I'm smelling it, and I'm like, Russ, I think they gave me the alcohol one. Yeah, like, I was really mad, because I'm like, mango doesn't normally burn, right? Like, I actually was about to take some... I think I did take some Benadryl. Because I was like... I was getting upset because I'm like, this shouldn't feel like this, like, because I had gotten a strawberry mango smoothie from the coffee place down in Key West, didn't burn, had no sort of sensation like this, and so I'm sitting there trying to salvage some of my dinner, because I was eating down in the lobby just because I didn't want the food smell in the room. And I was eating something that I needed to cut, so I wanted a table to sit at. And I'm sitting in the hotel lobby eating at like their breakfast area. And Russell comes down and he's like sitting there on his phone. And he smelled my thing. He goes, "Don't drink the rest of that." And he goes, "I'm pretty sure they gave you the alcoholic one." Because like I couldn't for sure say that it definitely had alcohol in it. But I'm like, where's the fucking strawberry? And it was thundering and lightning at that point, and I didn't want to go back and make a fuss again. And I'm just like, how? How? And, so he sits there and he's starting to do a review. And I'm like, stop it. And he goes, "No." He goes, "This is bullshit." So, and he had put in there about the drink possibly being alcoholic, and I'm like, I don't know if it was, though. I can't say for certain. I said, we only think it had alcohol in it. Huh? No, I don't want to create an event. I want to control... What are you doing? Stop it. Windows 11. What are you doing? Okay, I didn't think it actually copied it. Yeah, like something wasn't right with it, and he was pissed, so he left them not the best review, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, we could have tried to go somewhere else at that point, but at that point we had spent so much money on food between lunch and dinner. Because lunch wasn't the greatest either. It was okay, but it wasn't super great. And, I felt like we were being rushed when we were at lunch. But I'd never actually eaten in a Cracker Barrel before, so...
I'm not entirely sure that the server didn't have, like, some kind of disability.
Something seemed weird there. I don't think they did. I think it was just... how to put this? Southern charm? But homegrown Southern charm and not put on? Kind of more what I expected from Waffle House servers than there. So that's the best way I can put it. I mean, they were nice and everything, but it was just a little not expected. So, we were just like, fuck it. But, I don't know, like, we might try to find someplace else to stay the next time, or maybe just eat someplace else. Maybe it was just that specific area. I will say, though, I don't normally do McDonald's very often, because, it usually rips my stomach to shreds whenever I do. However, there was a McDonald's in the town where my brother was that we ate at a couple of times. and for breakfast. And they had a chicken biscuit that was just a biscuit with a chicken patty on it. Nothing else on it. It was fantastic for me because it was basic and simple and didn't have all like these sauces or anything on it. It was great. I actually managed to eat half of 2 different ones, 2 different days, and I'm like, oh, this is good. You know, this is great. We get home, and Russell's like, I'm gonna stop at McDonald's and get something since we need to be out doing something. I think we had to... I forget what we were doing. We were out early. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, can you get me a chicken biscuit? He's like, yeah. They don't have them here. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? They don't have the chicken biscuit at our McDonald's. I guess we're not southern enough. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm so sad. One of the simpler, more gentle things I found from there that I could potentially eat. And they don't have them here. I'm so sad. I didn't even think about it being like a regional thing. I'm like, we're not that far. What the hell? So disappointed. I'll tell you, the traffic in that town was crazy. Like, crazy heavy. From about maybe 9, well, it was really heavy when we were going down, or going up to Tampa. But, no, I guess we were going down to Tampa. But, so maybe say morning rush hour from like 7-ish a.m. to like maybe 9 or 10 at night. Well, no, maybe it started to calm down at 8 o'clock during the week. It depended on the day. But wow, did they handle it beautifully. Oh my goodness. It was fantastic. How do I wanna... What do I wanna... I forgot. I should probably do a bump out here. So it was 1, 2, 3. It was a steady 3 lanes going in each direction with like a little median divider in the middle, and then every so many intersections, like in between the intersections, there would be like a little thingy where you could try to do a left turn from. You could also do U-turns at most of the lighted intersections. And then there was another turning lane, additional, so like a 4th lane, that you could only turn right out of. And then they were telling you what the intersection was with the signs coming up. Oh, the next intersection, next signal light, this. It was fantastic how they were handling the traffic. Russell and I were like, wow, we need this back home. Like, I know it sounds so stupid, but it was handled so beautifully. it was incredible to have a right-hand turning lane, and they had like little like not concrete, but like plastic poles up, so you couldn't just ride the right-hand turning lane. Like, they forced you to turn. Like, nope, you can't go straight there, you must turn. So there was right-hand turning lanes only, and then you could do a U-turn. It was great. It was great. So we don't have people being dumb trying to turn against all that traffic. It was fantastic. We miss it so much. We came home, we're like, oh damn. We're like, excuse me, we need this traffic management back home. Right, is this how we're doing it? No, this isn't how we're doing it. Oh, I did the wrong one. Shit. What do I want? That wasn't it. This? No. I need the pointy one. But it was great. So what do you mean you don't know what that means? The U-turn or traffic management? We miss it so much. People drive stupid here. Alright, so how am I handling? You okay? Who's coughing? The traffic management. Yeah, it was a sight to behold, Boz. Like, it was heavy and congested, but oh, it was a thing of beauty. And it looked like they also had a bus system there. I don't know how extensive it was, because I never got the chance to see. I think we saw one of the buses, but like they were going like up and down the main road there, right where our hotel was. There was benches to wait on at them, and then my brother told us how much he bought his new house for. And Russell was like, that might be doable. Wait, how did I do? Oh, we did the corner piece there. So there's a chance it might be back on the table. I don't know if I can do that. I hear voices. I hear a lot of voices. Must be kids walking through our yard. So if we see, this one's not shaped the same. shaped the same, so how? How do I want to do this? See, they don't really have... What is this? That's the 1 meter. So, I mean, I guess in theory, I could go like that. And then no, that piece wouldn't work there. So I guess we'd have to... He is playing... Oh, what the fuck is it? Torchlight 2? Is that what you're playing? I may have gotten that right. I think he said he picked that up on Steam for like a couple of dollars. So, I mean, I guess it would look about the best in that angle. This one doesn't get the little finial dews on it though. But I guess these two can look different. Like, they don't all have to look the same. I mean, Massachusetts drivers are voted worst in the country, and that says a lot here. Yeah, I think he got like 2 copies for like $6 or something. Yeah, I think the worst drivers we encountered might have been from Texas. I will say we were getting kind of pissed at one point with a specific semi driver because we didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They were being a little weird, so we're like, yeah, let's get in front of them. And so we got out of the lane they were in. And we so we got out of the lane they were in. We swapped lanes. We got in front of them by, I think, a couple of cars. And then got back into that one lane. And then next thing we know, here they come like barreling as hard as they can. And they dove back in front of us. This happened like 3 different times, and Russell and I are like, what the fuck is this dude's deal? It was so crazy. It was starting to definitely get to us, because we're like, what in the fuckity fuck is happening? Like, he was, like, not about to even entertain for 1 second the idea that we were going to be in front of him. It was wild. And then I think we finally lost him on an incline or something. And I'll tell you, for as flat as Florida is, it was very hilly on some of those road sections going through there. We were surprised. Our ears were popping. We're like, what the hell? Okay, that's not too bad. Alright, let me duplicate this guy. Okay, that's a little off. I think it's a little off. I'm gonna have to look at the other one. Make sure I didn't fuck it up too badly. Guess that's okay. How does the other ones look? Oh. Okay, well. Alright, well that guy's okay. This guy, though... What's up with you? Like, are you crooked? Oh wait, hold on. You are... Maybe you are crooked. Good enough. Alright, so I didn't finish my layout here, did I? No, we didn't. So it turns out Momo has a really bad bladder infection. The first time they had given us the wrong antibiotic. The second time they gave us the right antibiotic, but he was still taking it while we were away. And he finished it before we got home. And the mother-in-law wasn't sure if it had done anything or not. And then we came home, and within a day we're like, no, something's still not right. And so we had to take him back to the vet after we got home. We took them a pee sample first, and they're like, we're gonna send it out this time, and do a culture on it. And the next day we brought him in physically, and they did x-rays on him, because then they were thinking, well, maybe there's like bladder stones or something, and they gave us urinary tract food and stuff, which he refused to eat. And I'm like, of course he did. They're like, no treats, no nothing. We're like, damn it. I was like, this dog's gonna like just shrivel up because he's not gonna eat anything. I managed to trick him into 4 bites of the new dry dog food, and then he flat out refused to eat any more of it. And I know he was hungry. And I'm like, okay. They did the x-rays, no stones, no obstructions, so that was good. So we're like, okay, cool, but something's still not right. So they called us this morning, and they're like, hey, Okay, so, it is a bad UTI still. And they gave us another round of antibiotics. And when he's done this round, we need to come back with another pee sample that they're going to send out again. And see if that's taking care of it this time. Because I'm like, this dog does not have to pee 5 times. He's under 20 pounds. Like, he's peeing and then he's like, nope, I need to pee some more. No, I need to pee some more. But there's like 2 drops coming out. So it's like, yeah, no, something not right. Something just not right. Okay, I don't think... No, this doesn't have a keeper on it yet. I don't believe. I think you're a different keeper. Right? Butterfly. Huh. Okay, well, I'm gonna hire another one. So we'll see. Hopefully we can get him fixed up this time. Because I gotta say, I was kind of worried when the night before he went to get his x-rays that I had a dream about a puppy, and I'm like, I shouldn't be having a dream about a puppy. This is weird. Because we're not getting any more dogs for some time. So I got a little weirded out, and I'm like, huh? So I was definitely nervous when he ended up having to go for the x-rays. Butterfly garden. Did I hit fucking caps lock again? I did. Butterfly garden. Keeper 3, I guess. Alright, so this is gonna be this one. And this and that. I think so. So hopefully we can get him all fixed up and sorted out there. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll have to show you guys the stuff that we had Ryan make for us custom. He's the wire guy that we always go see. I'll have to show you that on Sunday when I've got the camera set up. But it turns out he's doing multicolored wire now per piece. Before it was all silver. And in the time since our last trip, he's added in like gold and copper as well into the same pieces. It's really beautiful. We got a custom one done with our names on it and a little flamingo guy. And he kind of remembered us. Because I think I'm the only one that's custom asked for a gur that he put the pig balloon in the palm tree flying above it. And the sock puppet wire thingy that we had done one time too. He's doing like wind spinners now. So I'll have to show you guys that on Sunday as well. We didn't know he did the spinners until our last day there. So we custom ordered a flamingo and he'd never done a flamingo before. So he mailed that to us. That showed up after we got home. And it's simple, but it's cute and it amuses me because I have it set up so that when my fan's on my desk, the little wings spin around its body. And And then we had him custom do a rooster for my mom. Oh yeah, that's right. You still have to hang her shit.
Oh, I had forgotten.
So I mean that was cute. So we spent over $100 with him, but he does such nice work. Plus we tipped him not exuberantly, but we do try to tip him, and we don't think he gets that many tips by the way he reacted when Russell tipped him. So he saw us there like another night, and I can't remember if Russell said it or if he said it, but one of them said something about throwing more money at him. But we'll probably end up getting something else from him when we go down in September. We're not going to be buying as much stuff in September. It's going to be more of a much slower pace. And I've already got like all of the flamingo stuff that I probably would see that I would like, but there's a couple things we'll probably grab. I'll probably get more honey and probably some more fragrance oil that we are going to pack in Ziploc bags and make sure the lids are on tight, because we got some fragrance oil, lime fragrance oil, and I don't know if the lids weren't on tight or if the heat in the car loosened the lids or something, but 2 of them leaked, so we'll have to make sure we pack them in a Ziploc bag just in case next time. But we'll see what happens with that. So we're gonna pause here today. I know we didn't get too far today, but we did do some landscaping. That took some time. We got 2 of our buildings decorated. We figured out how to handle our picnic tables, and I did not realize that you could lay this arch down on its side. And we just slapped another arch in front of it to hide like the tree trunk thing coming out from the bottom of it. But that made a nice quick no fuss ring around that, so I'll take it. And we got our information booth, we got Street Fox Coffee set up, so we're getting there. I didn't do the finials on this one though, because it's not rounded, so it didn't seem quite, I don't know. I mean, we might have been able to do something here if I went with like a different piece maybe, but nah, it's okay. These 2 back here can look different because they're gonna have the bigger butterflies in them. You okay, Momo? Hi, buddy. Hi. Do you have to go potty? I know. He wants me to go make dinner. That's what he wants. But, yeah, no, it's coming along pretty good. Slowly, but it's coming along. Tomorrow we'll be back in, I think, with Park Oceana. You still want to keep going on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember what we were working on. I know we were working on that one section, but I can't remember if we were in the middle of anything. So that will be an adventure for both of us when we log into that tomorrow to try to remember what we were doing. But that's the plan for tomorrow. He's probably going to try to stream Saturday night as far as I know. We're still working on getting stream avatars set up. He's made a little bit of progress on it, but like I said, we've been sick since we got home. So, he might try to work a little bit on it over the rest of the weekend. And Sunday we'll be back to needle felting and picking back up where we left off with our Bob Ross thingy. So I am still working on the video edits for you guys. I'm on the 7th live stream of working on Chungus so far since we've been home. So I've made a bit of progress on that, just not a tremendous amount. And I still owe you guys a Bob Ross needle felt edit that's almost done. I can't remember if he gave it to me or not. He might have. I just haven't gotten to where I can work on it yet. So we've got some editing to do. So I'm in the middle of all of the things since we've been back. But yeah, so that's it for today. I do thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thanks for stopping by, boss. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good night. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon. And I hope to see everybody then. And until next time, you guys, have a good one.